Thank you, Chairman Joyce and Ranking Member, and thank you for the justices for coming today. Really appreciate that. I do want to set the record straight as we begin, though. While we all love hearings before we vote on the appropriation bills, we have a very aggressive schedule for these appropriation bills. The chairman's objective was to finish them all before the end of June. We actually got them done by mid-June. That facilitated the need for rapidity and trying to make sure that we got as much information as possible. Part of that included coming to the Supreme Court on March 5th, and we discussed many of these things. This was a bipartisan effort to go with your invitation to come and hear your budgetary needs. And so I appreciate that endeavor. I appreciate the members of this subcommittee who did go across the street to hear your concerns. And we heard some very disturbing deficiencies. And while we can't talk about all those in this public setting today, please know that those are noted. Those were included in the consideration for the appropriations bill that we did complete. And one of the issues that came up was the need for a security entrance for the Supreme Court building. Justice Kagan, could you describe what this will look like, and did we provide the adequate funding to make this happen?
I think we don't know exactly what it would look like, but we are concerned about people coming into the building right now before they've been checked, essentially, and only being checked when they're in the building. And we're concerned as well with the ability to enter for cars to enter. We've actually gone a significant way in addressing that issue, essentially by closing off the street behind the court, and we're very grateful to local authorities for their willingness to do that.
I think the point we made at the time is we have the beautiful visitor center here at the Capitol that was in part a security concern. It's also a great visitor center. It would be kind of mirrored in a smaller fashion across the street of the Supreme Court, and also what the president has proposed with a new security entrance to the White House with a ballroom on top, but a security measure underneath and a bunker. So thank you for clearing that up. One of the things I did mention at our in-person meeting, which again I'm grateful for, was a growing concern about the threats that drones pose to government buildings and protected officials, not just across the street at the Supreme Court building, but at your homes as well. How is this Supreme Court preparing for that evolving threat, and are there any additional authorities or resources that we should consider to make sure that you are protected?
And if you would like to, we could do this in a skiff at a later time, if you feel that it's something that needs to be addressed there, or if you want to
I
address
would say generally that we
Generally.
share that concern. Generally, I think drone mitigation measures are certainly on security's radar.
Well, we want to keep on top of that, and Chairman, maybe we could do something in a skiff setting to where, you know, this is a growing threat to all government officials, and it doesn't matter what party you're in, nonpartisan, this is a threat that needs to be addressed.
And I think, Congressman, that there might be ways to address whether we have all the authority we need currently, or whether there needs to be additional statutory authority that would really allow us to deal with that issue.
That would be an interesting conversation. We're facing that here on the Hill as well, and in our state and local authorities. We just are wrapping up the FIFA World Cup in Kansas City, and that was a concern as well, the authorities to actually defend against drone activity. Last question. The court budget requests in recent years has included increased security funding for the justices. Public threats against government officials have continued to rise. You travel for speeches, teaching opportunities. How is security funded and coordinated when justices are traveling, particularly with respect to protecting your families?
Residential security remains at our house as normal when we're away. The house remains protected, so the family is protected. And when we travel, we have our security details travel with us because, unfortunately, the threat travels with us. It doesn't just stay at the building.
If there are any gaps in that where it needs additional funding, please let us know, all right? And with that, I yield back, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Alford.
Support journalism you trust. Support PBS News. Donate now, or even better, start a monthly contribution today.